2 days ago, my son and I were doing, my son is 6 years old, and we were doing a social, can you hear me? Can you hear me? 2 days ago, my son and I were doing his social studies assignment, and he had to draw and write an institution that keeps people safe, where they can go to. And so me and him were talking about it, and I told him, and he came up with the answer, and he said, police station. And I said, yep, that's right. And he asked me, that's the same people who are following us, right? At the airports. How am I gonna tell a 6-year-old kid that those same people weren't there to protect us? They were following us around as if we were criminals at the airport. And this was only 2 weeks ago. This has been happening to me and my family for over 2 years now. And each time at the airport, things get worse. You might have seen my news articles and everything that's been going on in the media. The Washington Post has covered an incident, and in fact, that video that you saw was the ACLU sent down a traveler with me who was recording that video. It wasn't set up, it wasn't anything like that. In fact, she was there to show the world what happens to me each time I travel. And as a citizen of America, the least that we can expect is transparency, is the ability to communicate and ask the question, why? Why is this happening to me? Is it because I'm Muslim? Is it because of my name? Is it the way I look? The places I've traveled? What is it, so that I can take some form of correction and find a solution to this? Why does this keep happening without any solution that can come from this? I've applied for the redress multiple times. I've reached out to members of Congress. We've filed a federal formal complaint with the ACLU, and these issues keep happening. Each time I travel, I have to wait for over an hour to get my boarding pass. I'm escorted to the gate like a criminal. Then I'm asked to go through the normal checking and a secondary screening where I'm patted down in front of everyone while men around me keep gawking at me as I'm being patted down. Each thing of my items of my luggage is put out for the public, so much so that I don't even travel with baggage anymore when I go to school. I go to school at Harvard, so I commute a lot. And what I do is I don't travel with bags. I go and buy things over there. I have suffered indignities that I've cried to myself alone. And I know for a fact that once we were at the immigration point here in Orlando, and a TSA officer said to me that travelers who are taking flights have no rights. How is that possible when we live in a country where we have a constitution? How can citizens not have rights? I feel like I live in a country where I've been led to believe in the ideals of freedom, of democracy, that we have rights as citizens. We have ideals that we try to have others and uphold others to these same values. Then how come we are being subjected to this kind of treatment with no solution in sight? And that's what I'm here to address. You know, I see a familiar face right there, Agent Newcombs. You know me. You've taken me out to dinner at Seasons 52 and asked me blatantly to be an informant. Is this about entrapment? Is it that because I denied to be an informant? Why am I being profiled? And most of all, I'm a citizen. What happens to people who are not citizens? What happens to them? I'm worried about them as well. If this happens to me, how many others like me are subjected to this kind of treatment without any result or any solution? I'm very, very concerned for this, because this is not the country that I believe in. This is not what I'm raised to believe. This is not America. America can do better. And if I've learned anything about security, by the way, I am a student in international security. My I've double majored in Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. If there's anyone who respects security more than anyone, it's me. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. Do your job by all means. But to subject innocent civilians to this kind of treatment, this is psychological torture. That my family and I don't want to take trips anymore as a family. Other families have distanced themselves from me. They don't want to fly with me. I can't take them anywhere. My mom doesn't want to travel with me. My uncles, people who have raised me, are upset at me speaking out about this. And it's understandable because we feel like we'll be further targeted. So I come here, I flew down here because I think this kind of conversation is important. This is what I've been asking for so long. Open communication. What did I do wrong? How can I fix it? I cannot have this continue anymore. It's really damaging my lives. How can you guys who are supposed to protect us subject us to this kind of treatment? Thank you.
She was she not responsive at all?
No, she was. And shortly after our dealings, this is when Agent Newcombs and the other agent reached out to me, and they asked me that if I would help them, they would help me.